Dear students of grade 10, welcome to my English class again at RK English YouTube channel. And today we have very interesting and favorite topic, that is games and sports, unit 10. And we are going to discuss our reading fast of unit 10. And before reading one, we have some pictures. And getting started, what activities are shown in the pictures below? Talk about their importance. So students, we have some pictures are given here. Some sports pictures. First is I can see and athletes and a ball, a net here, and they all are jumping high. It means it's a volleyball game. And what is its significance? As you know, it's the most famous and popular game which is played all over the world, in also our country, and it's an international game. And this volleyball has its own significance, mainly while playing this game volleyball, and one must have hand-eye coordinations. It's a game all about having good eye coordination and good eye and hand coordination. And the second one, we can see a man or boy who is throwing ball onto the net. It's a basketball net. It's a basketball game. So this is a basketball. And third one, the most it's a different game than others. It's a chess, you can see. And this game has its own significance than others. It's a help in improving like skills, the skills like memory power, planning, and the problem solving. So this game can help you in improving your mental memory power, planning, and the problem solving. And the fourth, we can see here, they are runners. Okay, it's they are running on the ground, and that means it's a race. It's a type game type is race. And students, three of these game, except first this one, chess, all games, three games have its important significance in our life. So while playing all three games makes us first physically and mentally active. And playing this game can help us reducing the stress and relaxing our mind. And that's all it has importance, about the game. As you know, as you all about the importance of sports and game. So this is a short description about this picture, students. And now move to the text. Now reading fast. That's reading fast. Look at the picture below and answer this question. So students, here is the picture of, can you guess what is the picture all about? So question is here, a question, what objects can you see in this picture? So students, can you guess what are these objects? Yes, students, all these are called Olympic rings in different colors. All these rings represents the inhabited countries, and it also represents the Olympic games. So this is all about your Olympic rings. These are called the Olympic rings, and it is the sign of Olympic game. Now we have text the first Olympic game that we are going to discuss here. And here we start. In ancient Greece, there lived a man called Tantalus. He was half man and half god. His father was the great Greek god Zeus. One day, Zeus invited him up to Mount Olympic high above the cloud for dinner. Yes, students, a man called Tantalus used to live in old Greece, and he was half man, and his half part of his body was of man, and half part is of God. And his father was the great god Zeus. One day, the father was invited by the god for dinner above the cloud for dinner. Above the cloud means above the cloud, high above the cloud. They were called for the dinner by the god. So when Tantalus received the invitation, he was proud. Yes, he obviously became very proud and excited about hearing about inviting by the god. Dinner with the god, he thought, what a wonderful honor. And he thought of that it would be very honor for him to had dinner with the god. And set Tantalus and climbed up to the very top of Mount Olympic, his embroidered robes, to dine with his father and the other god. The students, then he thought that it would be a great honor to have dinner with the god. So he decided, and he went up to the top, and by wearing embroidery robe, and had great dinner with the god. He had an executive dinner together. The next morning, Tantalus lay in bed and remembering the glorious evening. And the next morning, he was while he was lying on the bed, and he was thinking of that great night and a great dinner that he had with the god. I must return the invitation, but what can I serve them? I must give them something I value more than anything. The students, he was thinking of returning something big and something special and precious to god Zeus. And yes, he thought he thought of what returning something important, valuable. And then Tantalus had a terrible idea and a horrible idea, then a very bad and terrible idea came in his mind of Tantalus. He decided to take his son Pelops and chopped him up and serve him as a stew to the god. So obviously, students, it was a very horrible and a terrible idea that came in the mind of Tantalus. And yes, he thought, he decided to chop what? What was that idea? The Tantalus decided to cut his sons, or chopped his son into the pieces, and for that he cut his sons into the pieces and served the god. The god who saw everything was furious. Could he do such a thing? They asked. Yes, but the god, furious means, but the god, what they saw is they were not happy, and the god were angry. They become angry, as human sacrifice. They didn't allow, the human sacrifice did not allow God, and he knows we hate human sacrifice. As you know, students, that God always hates human sacrifice. They don't allow anyone to kill human. We will have to punish him. As a punishment, they sent him down to the underworld, where he had to stand in water up to his neck forever. So God decided to give him punishment, or by sending him to the underworld means to hell, where he was kept to stand in water, up to his neck for whole life, for his whole life. uh, meanwhile meanwhile the god brought Pelops back to life. As a special present, they gave him a chariot with a team of snow white horses that could run faster than the wind. So what happened, student, next? And meanwhile, that boy, son of that Tantalus boy Pelops, was given life again by the god, and he was also given, a chariot with white horse. A chariot is, you can say, uh, horse, horse riding. It's a kind of, we can say, to carry a person or things. Horse with the white horse color which could run, he gave, the god gave him a chariot with the horse, white color horse, and the horse that could run faster than the wind. Take this horse, said Zeus to Pelops, and find yourself a kingdom, for you shall become a great ruler. And the god sent the Pelops back by saying that, go and find the kingdom, for yourself, as you are going to be a great ruler. Pelops thanked the god and mounted his chariot and galloped down the dusty mountain road and out onto the plain. And students, as he almost about to cross the, and yes, he also again. Then after then, the boy, the Pelops, thanked the god, and got right the chariot and moved to the dusty road of a mountain. As he came around a curve, he reined in his horse, for he saw an old man dressed in rags by the side of a road. So while moving to his destination, and he was almost about to cross that curve, and there he saw an old man, wearing rough clothes by the side of the road. Uh, where are you going? Shouted the old man. And old man shouted where he was going. I am often to find a kingdom. Pelops replied. Then I have an idea for you, said the old man. I know of a kingdom called Elix, where a beautiful princess lives. Her name is Hippodamia. The man who married the princess will inherit his kingdom. So, students, what happened? The old man, who was lying by the side of the road, and yes, and the old man questioned. First the old man questioned Pelops, where are going? And the Pelops answered that he was going in search of a kingdom. And old man then replied him that he knew about the kingdom named Alex. The name of the kingdom. There is a kingdom named Alex. That he knew about the kingdom. There lived what, a beautiful princess, whose name is what, Hippodamia is the name of that beautiful princess, and the man who would marry that princess, get the kingdom. So this is what the old man said to the Pelops. That sounds perfect, said Pelops. After hearing all this, the Pelops became very happy and excited. That's just one problem, cautioned that old man, and if you want to marry the princess, you have to run a chariot race against the old king. Yes, so There was a condition for Pelops that if he wanted to marry that princess, for that he had to run a chariot race against the king, and that was the main condition, you know, before getting married to the king, married to princess. If you win, you get the princess, the kingdom. Yes, if you lose, you get your head chopped off. So, students, what was the condition? If the Pelops would win the race, then it means that the princess and the kingdom would be his, and he would get the princess and the kingdom. If he would lose the race, and then what happened? Then his head would be chopped and cut into the pieces. That was the condition, because so far many and 12 people have lost their life, and 12 people, had been chopped so far. And they tried, 12 people have already tried before, and they all lost their life, and it means they failed to do all this. I won't lose, said Pelops, and my horse can run faster than wind, but the king can run faster than lightning. But Pelops, the boy, was very much sure about their horse, because he thought that these horses were given by the god, and that's why he was pretty sure about his win. And but the king lost. What was the problem? That the king horse could run faster than the lightning. Warned the old man, and the old man warned the Pelops that he must have known about the king's horse, as they were very faster. They are the faster than the lightning. I'm not afraid, said Pelops. He thanked the old man and started off. And then he said, he was sure about, he told the old man that he was not afraid of all this thing. And then he thanked the old man, and then he moved. After many hours, he reached the palace and wished to see king. The servant led him to the king's chamber, and there he saw the beautiful Princess Hippodamia sitting next to the king. The students, after many hours of journey, or you can say discussion with the old man, finally he reached to the king palace, where he was taken to the king chamber, and here where then the beautiful Princess Hippodamia was sitting beside the king. Her black eyes sparkled like stars when she saw the handsome young visitor. Yes, students, and she was quite impressed by the boy. Yes, Pelops blew before the king. I have come to woo your daughter, he said. My daughter and kingdom are yours, the king said, if you win the chariot race. Then the boy told the king about his proposal of marriage, and then the boy was told, and boy was supposed to win the chariot race, and to get all these, to get married and to get to have a kingdom. Then, and the boy had to run a chariot race. My horse can run faster than the wind, said Pelops. My can run faster than lightning, countered the king. The Pelops said to the king that his horse could run faster than the wind. Then the king responded that his horse could run faster than the lightning, and then the king countered on Pelops. He had never lost a race, and his horse were magic and had been given to by Ares, the god of war. Yes, the king told that his horse never had um, been defeated in race, and it was given by Ares, the god of war. Tomorrow morning at sunrise, the king declared the race shall become. Later that evening, the princess wandered out near the king's stable. She did not see the stable boy, who was brushing the horses' shiny black coats so they would look their best for race in the morning. Hippodamia looked up at the starlit sky and said to herself dreamily, "Oh, I do wish my father would lose the race just this once." Now the stable boy, who had always adored the princess from afar ahead. What happened, students, when the next morning and it was decided that the race would start, okay? And the king, it was declared by the king. And later night, what happened? The princess who was roaming around the king's stable. Stable means where horses are kept. This is called the stable. And she didn't saw any stable boy, and was who was making horse brighter and shining by brushing so that they would look nice and what. And the girl look up in the star, look up in the star and wished for what? Her father defeat, she wished that her father would lose the race, and her father, he wished for her father a defeat in the race. Now the boy, who always listened her, listened the girl, and he thought of what? He thought of fulfilling her wish. So for that, what he did, and now the stable boy who had always adored the princess from afar overhead, Hippodamia, he can make wish come true. He thought after the princess went inside, he carefully took out the bronze pins that held the what he did, he when the princess went inside and he changed the pin. Okay, what he did, he changed the pin of chariot wheel by Pelops, and his lovely Hippodamia went on to become wise and good rulers of great kingdom of Elix. So later, when both Pelops and his fiancée Hippodamia, they become a great ruler of the kingdom of Elix. They remained buried for almost 15 years. True to Pilaf's decree, the games were held. Every 4 years on the field of Olympia, but around 500 AD there was a great earthquake that knocked down the building as a huge flood that covered the field with water and mud. So what happened, students? So later in 500 AD, there came a great earthquake in Elix, where and due to which many buildings collapsed down, and and the Olympic ground was covered with water and mud. So there was water and mud all around the Olympic ground because of the earthquake that came in 500 AD.